What's going on, guys? We're back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video, and today we are going to be talking about something that has been heavily requested to me through YouTube comments, Twitter, everywhere under the sun. People have been asking me plenty of times about these moment challenges. So basically, the moment challenges is pretty much the new way of grinding in MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty, whether it be the first inning program, the storylines, you have the creative player moment challenges as well. Specifically, these two are the ones giving people a lot of difficulty, so I thought I would make this video and help explain some of the ones that you guys have been having a lot of trouble with and give you the tips on how I completed them, as I've now completed the Willie Mays program, which, trust me, is not a lot of fun. It really sucked. I completed that last night, and then the first inning bosses to, of course, get either Andrew Jones, Cy Young, or Rich Gossage. So first, I think we will start out with the toughest one, the Willie Mays one. And like I said, I'm just going to give you tips on how that you guys can complete this. And, you complete it, basically. Complete it a little bit easier. And just some tips that you guys will probably really need to know. So for starters, home runs with the Willie Mays is actually quite a bit more difficult than it may seem. And I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later. But basically, for most of these for Willie Mays, you are going to be playing at Polo Grounds, which of course is the field that has the really two short but high left and right field walls, and then of course center field is like 500 plus feet. You're not going to hit a home run to center field unless it's an inside the park home run. So what I would recommend for Willie Mays, whenever you're using him at Polo Grounds, always try to be early or late with your swing, as that'll kind of direct it either to left field or right field. And like I said, the wall will be high, but as long as it's literally like 240 feet, so that's probably the best way to hit home runs. You definitely can still hit inside the park home runs. It kind of depends on which one. Sometimes I feel regular X swinging is better. Sometimes I felt like power swinging was better. But overall, I guess I would say I would recommend the X swing for most times for Willie Mays. I think that is the best way to go. So like I said, I'm just going to go through a couple of these, and I will have a very important tip that you guys do not want to miss once I finish going over the Willie Mays program, that without it, there's no way I would have been able to finish it. So make sure that you stay along for that one. Just a couple more. Don't strike out is pretty easy. It's actually relatively hard to strike out on this game when you're playing the computer, at least in my opinion. I guess I'll go through the stolen bases. From what I've learned, they did increase Willie Mays speed, but I would recommend that you never take a step. I would just recommend actually, you know what, let's just hop into the game. All right, so as you can see, we've gotten on base with Willie Mays. I would recommend zoom in using the right analog stick. Take a step forward, and then once you see him move, then I would go, and we just do get in there. So I would recommend do not try to take a step, because usually they will try to pick off, or that's when they're gonna start doing the slide step. So I would recommend, once again, just zoom in, and that's how you do that, and then take a step that is R1, or take a advancement to second base. We're probably gonna get thrown out right there. He struck out anyway, but for second base, it is a little bit different. I think usually you can get away with taking a step when trying to steal third base from second base, but I would never recommend that you guys try to take a step from first base, because that's when they usually slide step, or they're just going to constantly try to pick you off each and every time. I think that is pretty much all that you guys need to know for the Willie Mays program. I guess a little bit more that I will talk about alongside the home run and stolen base one for Willie Mays, because that is definitely the most challenging one. Like I said, I usually prefer to do the regular swing. That's what I just felt more comfortable with, and that's what usually I found more success with hitting home runs. You'll find, at least in my situation, the stolen bases came pretty easy. If I got on base with a single, I was usually able to steal a base. That wasn't really an issue, but hitting the home runs definitely took a lot of time, and that's what really was the frustration point for me during this 1956 30-30 player moment with Willie Mays. Another one is, like I said, be patient. That is very important. Wait for your pitch. Do not just swing at whatever garbage the pitcher is throwing you. Wait for your pitch, wait for it to be thrown down the middle, wait for a fastball, and like I said, also make sure to direct your swing either left or right by swinging early or swinging late, so then you can hit it towards one of the short walls, and like I said, that will help with home runs. And that is a big tip, because like I said, you can hit inside the park home runs, but you're gonna have to really get it out there and really smack it over the outfielders' heads, because Willie Mays does have a lot of speed, but it is still definitely difficult to get an inside the park home run even at Polo Grounds. I talked about the zoom steal. That is definitely something that you should keep in mind. And then something for all the moments, whenever you're doing this, do something to preoccupy yourself. Do not just play this straight on. I said this before in a video last year. Listen to music, watch a YouTube video, watch Netflix, watch baseball. Do something to take your mind off of just constantly mind-numbingly playing the computer. Please, your sanity will thank me later. But now I want to get into that big tip that I was talking to you about. I'm going to do it with the Bryce Harper program, even though I don't recommend that you guys do the Bryce Harper program. But you will see April 25th through 26th on the break, 3-game length, 3 games remaining. I'm going to show you guys a way to always make sure that that stays at 3 games. Let's get into it. Alright, so one of my biggest issues and one of the things that was really difficult through doing all these length game moment challenges is if you just are not making good progress. As you guys can see, tally 5 hits and 3 runs batted in and hit 1 home run. So of course, this is a 3-game length. So if I don't do some decent progress throughout this game, it's like, you know, like I probably don't want to have that on record. And ironically enough, this is on rookie, so I'm gonna do really well. But let's just say I got no hits in this game, and then throughout 2 games I would have to get 5 hits, 2 runs batted in, and a home run. It would be a lot more difficult. So a way to actually bypass this is dashboard. If you dashboard your console, you know, just exit out of the application. And I'm not going to cut this for the simple fact that I don't want you guys to think that I'm pulling a wool over you. We're just going to go through the entire thing, so I have to cough right now, but I do not want to cut it. Just to show that you guys, that is a way to bypass if you are not doing good and don't want to save it. You can get that game back. So a big thing for the Willie Mays program that I was always doing for that stolen base and home run, if I didn't get, you know, a home run in that game, I would just dashboard before that game ended. And it is very important that you guys make sure to dashboard before you record your last at bat, the last out, because if you don't, that game will count even if you dashboard. Trust me, I've had that happen to me before. You have to make sure you dashboard by the time before you do that. So always I try to, okay, if it's the bottom of the 7th inning or the top of the 7th inning, we're winning by 5, I probably am not going to get another at bat. So I dashboard right after I end that at bat or about to get out. So usually I just try to do the digital dash right away, get out of there. I think you could probably get away with pausing the game, then quitting out. But as you guys will see, we'll go back to the Bryce Harper program right here. That's not the Bryce Harper program. It's right there. It's still 3 games remaining. So even though I did do that, I didn't like the progress that I made. I dashboarded, and we're still at 3 games. So like I said, that was a great way for the Willie Mays program where, you know, I would already have decent progress, and let's just reset this. So for example, one thing that might have happened is I would need 2 home runs and 1 stolen base left in 2 games. And if I didn't get a stolen base or a home run in that game, I would dashboard, because if I didn't, the next game I would have to hit 2 home runs and get a stolen base. And otherwise I would have to reset the whole thing. So I definitely would recommend that you guys use that dashboard. I don't know if there's actually a way that they can take it out of the game, but that is my biggest tip that I could possibly give you guys for the moment. Extra game challenges, dashboard whenever you guys are not making the progress that you need. And actually it said I don't have that completed now. That's kind of funny. And finally, just to touch on the first inning program just a little bit, there are a couple ones that I know some people had a little bit of difficulties with. Where is it? I think it's this one right here, triple threat. Tally 3 hits, 3 runs, and 3 stolen bases. Go into extra innings. That's my best tip for this one. I think I completed this challenge the first time I did it, but it was in like 16 innings, so just try to get into extra innings. That is really, or actually it's a 3-inning game, so I probably didn't go into 16 innings, but that's definitely the best thing I can recommend. And if you ever have a shot to go into extra innings and need to accumulate more offensive stats, that is what I would recommend that you do. Just keep the game going. Otherwise, I think all the rest of the first inning programs are pretty self-explanatory. I know people had trouble with the Andrew Jones one. I would recommend pretty much the same thing. Just be patient and try. I would usually still recommend regular swinging. Maybe with Andrew Jones, he has a little bit more power than the Willie Mays. Maybe you want a power swing, but you know, just be patient, wait for your pitch. That's pretty much the best advice I can give you. Like I said, the Willie Mays program is definitely the one that probably gave me the most issue, but now that I finally finished it, you know, here's the card. It is what it is. It was definitely difficult, but I hope that these tips that I gave you guys can help you complete those moment challenges, because I know I had trouble with them, and I know a lot of you guys were having trouble with them as well. But if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything about these programs, any more questions or help that you guys need, please leave your questions down below. I will gladly give you all the tips and help that I can give you from what I experienced through going through it. Once again, I wouldn't recommend that you guys do the Harper, the Ruth, or the Cubs moment program. If you want to, go ahead, but I personally would not really say that that's really worth your time. I think there's other stuff that you guys could be doing. But once again, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys are great today, and then it guys comes out. Yay.
Love is love, and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure, and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.